I am New York.
Я сам Нью-Йорк.
I am New York.
Yo soy Nueva York.
Sono New York.
Je suis New York.
Welcome to Diverse City, where we explore New York's eclectic enclaves, one neighborhood at a time. I'm Zyphus Lebron. This month, we'll continue our look at New York's expansive park system. Though the dog days of summer are behind us, parks are still hotspots for everything from fall festivals to 5K runs during the cooler months. The 2,300 open spaces are now more than ever being touted as some of the pillars of the city's sustainability efforts. On this episode, Forever Wild, the effort to preserve the city's most valuable ecosystems. Take a hike, parks within and just outside of the city that are ripe for sightseeing. And Open Space Ranger, once a peacekeeping post, find out how the urban park ranger's job has changed. Those stories and more coming up on Diverse City. 4 years, the Parks Department has been spearheading an effort to preserve all the city's invaluable ecology. Greg Thompson takes us on a journey that stretches from the borders of Queens and Long Island all the way to the very north of Manhattan.
New York City Parks properties contain over 12,000 acres of natural habitats. That's 1/3 of the park system. It's forests, wetlands, and grasslands. So the Forever Wild program shows our commitment to caring for these spaces so that they continue to deliver these amazing benefits for future generations.
Kristen King is the Chief of Natural Resources for New York City Parks and oversees Forever Wild. The program started in 2001 under the Parks Commissioner at the time, Henry Stern. Stern, along with naturalists and ecologists, recognized that the park's wild areas needed oversight.
They found rare species, they found intact habitats, they also found dumping, debris, invasive species, issues that needed management, and special places that needed protection.
In order to do that, the Parks Department enlisted the aid of the Natural Areas Conservancy. The partnership began in 2014. Helen Forgione is the senior ecologist of the nonprofit.
We looked at the soils, we looked at the different impacts, we measured tree diameters, we looked at native, non-native species. All of that information was used to put together a forest management framework for New York City that is now the basis of a lot of the management which is going on in New York City Parks, natural Forever Wild forest spaces.
Here in Inwood Hill Park, King notes some of the features that need preserving.
I think the most special thing is the mature oak tulip canopy. The mature forest here is, there are trees that have been here since before European colonization of New York City. So that is a really, special cultural and ecological heritage to preserve. And then just from the canopy down, all the special places that mature canopy creates, the biodiversity that fosters in the understory, and just the special way it makes people feel, that all of that is very much worth preserving.
People like CUNY intern Jean Lajara. Lajara is helping the Conservancy reassess the city's green health 10 years after the first report.
Each tree has its own tag and its own number. And we also take note of the species that each tree is, so we know from the number we more or less have an idea of what the species is.
We marked them so that we could go back to that exact same spot, and that's what we're doing this year. We're going back to those exact spots, and our interns are kind of trialing for us how easy it is, troubleshooting, how hard it is to get to those same places, what's remaining. We tagged trees. Are the tree tags still there? So they're kind of setting up those first relook at those plots that we set up.
Its diameter at 1.37 meters from its base.
The Forever Wild program encompasses green areas in all 5 boroughs, like this one that's on the border of Nassau County.
We are standing right now about 5 feet from the New York City county line. So we're in Queens right now. Maybe 5 or 10 feet away is Nassau County.
Walter Mugden is the president of the Udell's Cove Preservation Committee. This cove is one part of the mile-long area that includes tidal and freshwater wetlands, wooded uplands, trails, and even an osprey landing. The committee is very active here and relies on a large team of people to help maintain all of this area.
It certainly is an example of the conservation part of the American environmental movement. We have about, give or take, 200, I'll call them family units, that are members of our organization. We have a smaller cadre of people who work regularly, but we do have a big cleanup once a year in April or early May, and as I said, we generally fill up a 30 cubic yard dumpster of garbage. So there's a lot of trash, a lot of things that wash up in storms onto the shoreline. So a lot of work that gets done every year, and we usually have somewhere between 75 and 100 volunteers coming out for that cleanup annually.
In addition to the storms, Mugden says invasive species are also a major problem.
We have efforts in various sections to do restoration, where we remove some of the invasives and we replant with indigenous species. It's never a task that we're going to get completely done with, but we have decades worth of work ahead of us, and so we'll never be at a loss for things to do here.
That's a sentiment shared by folks in Little Neck Bay in eastern Queens, all the way to the tip of Manhattan.
Natural habitats in the urban context do things like clean the air, provide shade and subsequent cooling. They retain stormwater. They provide recreational benefits for really calm and relaxing recreation, which is a great opportunity in the urban context to get out of the hustle and bustle and into a place like this. I would argue that there's something intangible when you get it all together that makes a forest, a real forest in Manhattan, a very special place worth preserving.
For Diverse City, I'm Craig Thompson.
Pools may be closed now and most beaches empty, but the Parks Department is playing the long game to shore up its floundering lifeguard numbers. To that end, Parks has partnered with the Department of Youth and Community Development and the Summer Youth Employment Program to create an initiative to train the next generation of hopefuls. This after a shark attack over the summer made headlines and drew more attention to the importance of having capable guards on patrol. I visited the Flushing Meadow Aquatic Center to see firsthand what they were learning.
These young people in the pool are being coached on how to conquer 25 meters of calm water so that one day one of them may brave violent waves to save someone's life.
So it took about 3 or 4 weeks for us to get them up to speed, to learn the different strokes, to be able to start building up their endurance. We're looking for kids and participants who want to be in the water.
Gary Walunas is a 12-year veteran swim instructor. He's one of the coaches taking these 16 to 24-year-olds through their paces.
The main thing is fear. If they fear the water, they don't want to put their head in the water, now you got to get over that fear in order to teach them. This group came in, they weren't afraid to put their faces in the water. They took direction very well.
Another coach, Tony Ferrugia, is also a former lifeguard.
A lot of these youth not only get trained in the water for future exercises and potential employment with lifeguarding, but we get them their CPR for professional rescuer. We train them in doing so. We do mock scenarios. They train with real equipment, AEDs, pocket masks, gloves, all types of equipment to basically, reenact an actual live scenario.
This class is part of the Department of Youth and Community Development's Summer Youth Employment Program. Though it's coming at the end of the summer, it's really just the start of a multi-pronged long game that the city is playing to shore up its lifeguard numbers for next year.
Post-pandemic, we've come to realize that there's been a shortage of lifeguards, not only here in New York City, but throughout the country.
In 2022, the department reported that the city had 529 guards by the time public pools opened in June. This past summer, there were 480 lifeguards. That included 280 returning guards and 200 new recruits. That's not even half of the Parks Department's usual target.
We always try to do more than 1,000 lifeguards, because if we get more than 1,000 lifeguards, we're able to provide much more opportunities, much more programming in our beaches and pools.
No one seems to be able to pinpoint why the numbers are declining specifically. One reason previously floated was that guards were only getting paid $16 an hour. However, this past summer, the starting salary for first and second year lifeguards was $21.26. Some guards were given a $1,000 bonus if they worked through mid-August. Even these participants are being paid to be part of the program.
What we're trying to do here in the New York City parks is to be able to work with the entities that be, to be able to make sure that we have the compensation for the lifeguarding is adequate. That's exceedingly important.
Though the money is a good incentive, participants like David Smith, who learned to swim in this pool, are here for a different reason.
I know a lot of people who are very scared of beaches and even pools, So I feel like I could help them with that, If I'm just sitting in that chair, simply just watching, it's, puts people at ease.
Elijah Gaston has his own harrowing tale as to why he wants to be a guard.
I was like in the 4th grade, and I was at a hotel pool visiting one of my family members, and the pool was like deep, and I was like little, so I went in the middle, and I went under, and I couldn't go back up. But there was like some random lady who came to save me, so that always driven me to learn how to swim.
Despite their altruistic ambitions, the truth is these potential recruits still have a way to go in their journey. This initial training will be followed by more swim tests later in the year, as well as a written exam. Commissioner Rodriguez Rosa says a big part of what this program is trying to do is to show that lifeguarding is only the beginning.
I have met so many individuals that have been former lifeguards that now are lawyers, judges, they are in the police department, fire department. So you can start your career at the age of 16 as a lifeguard and then build on that to be able to have a civil service career in the future.
For New Yorkers who want to explore the city's green spaces and even add in a little exercise, we've got some great options. Linda Simidian has the details.
New York City has some amazing green spaces for a leisurely walk or a hike, but sometimes you just want to get out of town. So we've got a couple of great places to try, and you can get to them by train or by car. First up, Hudson Highlands State Park Preserve.
Hudson Highlands State Park, which is a park opposite West Point and easy to get to. You go to Grand Central Station and you take the train to Garrison, New York. It's about a 1-hour trip.
Steve Galla is the chair of the hiking committee for the Appalachian Mountain Club. For those who want to explore Hudson Highlands State Park, he suggests joining an organized hike.
The trail at Garrison begins at the train station, and one can hike there for up to 5 miles, which we consider a easy to moderate hike. Or if you would like to do a 10-mile excursion hike with a hike leader, you can go onto the Appalachian Trail from there and do a more extended hike.
Another suggestion.
Minnewaska State Park is unique. It has almost a 2,000-foot elevation. It's flat on top, and if you're standing near the edge and taking photographs, you don't want to walk too far backwards because it's a long way down.
Less than 100 miles from New York City, Minnewaska State Park is at the lower tip of the Catskill Mountains. The park preserve has 25 miles of hiking trails and is known for its waterfalls, cliff views, and birding. Another place to hike outside the city is Harriman State Park, about 45 minutes from the George Washington Bridge in Rockland County.
It has approximately 200 miles of trails, and these are trails that beginners can enjoy as well as seasoned hikers.
And if you'd rather explore places nearby,
what are some great places for a day hike?
My favorite was taking that ferry to Brooklyn Bridge Park, hiking around Brooklyn Bridge Park, and then hiking up on Brooklyn Heights, walking on the promenade. Fort Lee Historic Park, magnificent. Easy to get to. Just walk over the George Washington Bridge and you'll see Fort Lee, the actual park itself. You can go down into Edgewater and hike on the shore trail, which takes you under the George Washington Bridge, along the water, along the coast for about 5 miles.
Or if you prefer to hike on Long Island,
hikes there, and one that I really like is Fire Island. Fire Island has many small communities. It's mainly noted for scenery. From the parking lot number 5 at Robert Moses State Park, at the very end, you park there, and you hike to the tower. There's a large lighthouse, and from there you hike into Kismet, and then also into Saltaire. You hike to the bay side, the ocean side.
Wherever you choose to hike, there are some important safety tips to follow.
When you hike for the first time, or if you think you'd like to go hiking, a safety tip would be wear comfortable footwear. That's number one priority. But try not to wear sneakers if you're going to hike on a regular hiking trail. If you're going to hike in the local park in New York City, sneakers are fine, but comfortable shoes, that's my emphasis. They have to fit right, otherwise you're going to be miserable. Another safety tip is make sure you bring water with you. That would be my number 2 safety tip. And bring food to eat too, because the food will give you energy. Know your weather before you go out. If you think it's going to turn cold or if it's going to rain, you might want to bring a poncho with you. Be cautious, but not overly cautious. Also, if you're hiking, bring a cell phone with a full charge in case you get lost.
What are some of the benefits of hiking?
It's good psychologically. When you're with other people, you feel socialized, you make new friends. It keeps you from becoming a loner. The other benefit of hiking is the exercise. I keep track of the hiking steps. A typical hike I do will be about 13,000, 14,000 steps. It lets you live longer. I'm going to be 81 years old from now, and I've been hiking for 20 years. So my advice again is, if you're an adult, if you're anywhere from 18 to 93 and a hike with 93-year-olds, get out there on a regular basis and do your hiking.
For Diverse City, I'm Linda Simidian.
New York City has been employing a cadre of friendly-faced urban park rangers as part of their efforts to promote environmental sustainability and to educate the public on indigenous species. We spoke to one of those rangers as he patrolled Central Park. Dwayne Ferguson reports.
We've done it before.
Oh, setting up a net or something?
We've tried that, and one thing we've done is just chasing it in kayaks.
This exchange between urban park ranger Jeffrey Vandervernet and avid bird watcher Joe Amato about how to best corral a cormorant that's been seen around Central Park is just one aspect of the ranger's job.
Education is our primary task and our favorite thing to do as park rangers. But we do have to enforce the park's rules and regulations as well.
Rangers sometimes even have to protect the animals from visitors to the parks, as was the case when a young visitor was found feeding bread to some ducks that had gathered.
Bread can be very detrimental to the duck's health. Because ducks love to eat, they will love to eat bread, but it doesn't provide any nutritional value for the ducks, like a lot of the food that they can find in their natural environment. So they fill up on that bread and don't get the nutrients they need. And when they're developing, they can develop this illness called angel wing, which is essentially means that the wings don't grow properly and they're unable to fly, and it's likely fatal if it's not caught early.
Rangers, like Vandervernet, had patrolled parks in New York City since 1979. Back then, Parks Commissioner Gordon J. Davis created the Urban Park Rangers as a means of addressing the crime and drug abuse that had taken hold in the parks during NYC's fiscal crisis. But these days, rangers spend more of their time conducting classes on archery and teaching school children about indigenous species. It's all part of the city's green initiative to make residents more sustainability conscious.
We're effectively ambassadors for that mission, where we're front-facing and speaking to the public and always answering the public's questions, whether it's about different green initiatives that the city's offering or anything that's going on in the parks. So that's one thing we do. And through our educational programming, we always like to tie it into some of the important issues that we face today, particularly these in an urban environment.
Vandervernet is one of approximately 90 part-time and full-time rangers. He's been on the job for about 4 years, so he's had good and bad days.
Worst part of the job? Some of those dark winter days can be tough because we'll still be out there responding to an animal condition in the depth of the winters.
Best part of the job?
For me, personally, you know, I don't think I could ever find another job where during spring migration, when the birds are coming through, I get to go out on a hike and look for birds and have it count as an important task that I'm doing that day.
Reporting for Diverse City, I'm Dwayne Ferguson.
That's our special look at New York City's park system. Join us next time when we'll head over to Kips Bay near Midtown Manhattan. Till then, thanks for joining us as we explore our diverse city.